Hello and thanks for checking out ChartGuys.com. We're proud to be one of the most successful technical analysis communities online, teaching you the skills to become a more confident, effective, and informed trader. Join our community of hundreds of analysts worldwide working together to learn the charts, generate profit, and achieve financial independence. For access to daily live chart analysis and market coverage, a thriving chat community, along with dozens of hours of exclusive educational materials. We look forward to seeing you. Let's check out some charts. Everyone checking in on the marijuana sector. So we have not talked since CGC earnings came out. Bullish reaction initially, profit taking, as bears will continue to short any bull moves as long as it keeps working. And it keeps working for now. Will it work forever? No, but it works for now. So we ended up having a nice entry on CGC Friday. First 5-minute oversold conditions after the massive bull move with extended hours on. And that had a nice bounce to it. We dropped down, we broke 22 psychological. As soon as 22 psychological broke, we saw a bounce. We went from 21.92 up to 22.57, roughly a 3% bounce. So there were some nice day trades to be had there. But as far as it being easy for bears, so we had the gap up open. We know there's going to be profit taking. We then find a base. So it's just an hourly high or low, no red flags. We bounce and we top out at 22.92. That's now our resistance level on the hourly chart. End of the day Friday, failed to break that resistance level by 5 pennies. So we start this morning. We know anything under 22.92 is an hourly lower high of resistance. We see the open, the bulls run 2.5%, reject 4 pennies under that resistance, and pull back and hit the low of the day. We then see an afternoon bounce. In the afternoon, we got within 17 cents of that resistance level and then pulled back and closed near the low of the day. As long as we give bears that kind of clear setup, they're going to continue taking it. Think if we were in a strong daily uptrend and the hourly higher lows were forming higher lows by pennies. It would be ideal conditions for bottom fishing off support, making your entry, putting your stop below in case the hourly uptrend is lost, and then you don't get stopped out because the hourly uptrend remains intact. It's the exact opposite scenario with the bears having clear targets for top fishing resistance and not being stopped out of any of those top fishing plays. So we're now looking down at the low of Friday, 21.72 as short-term support. And if that level breaks, we're in gap fill territory and we're looking down at 21 psychological. We are absolutely looking for a daily higher low to form compared to where we came from. But we have to see an hourly trend change back in favor of the bulls to say that our daily higher low has been established. And as always, the daily trend change will be needed if we're going to see any bull follow through. Weekly time frame, still in an uptrend. Anything above 1848 was a higher low. We bounced off 1865, but if we cannot break 2597, it doesn't mean a whole lot in the grand scheme of things. So as always, daily trend change needed for the bulls to prove something to us. ACB stood out as a clear lead bull in the Canadian MJ space today with a nice solid green day. That being said, 180 is resistance and anything under 220 is just a daily lower high. So at this point, the bulls are just trying to create as much space as possible to try and change the daily trend because as we know, if the bulls do not change their daily trend with a higher low above 143 and then a higher high wherever we end up topping out, it means nothing. Daily trend change is a must. APHA, week close, we're looking right back down at 404, the recent low, and then for psychological, absolutely nothing bullish on this chart. Ever since we topped out at $6, the bears have had complete control, and we've seen 4 green days in the last something like 20 days of trading. Not even looking at TLRY because there's nothing there. Cron, little daily inside bar, we held support by 1 penny, so there was a play off the low of Friday. If it breaks at 709, we're looking at a gap fill of 696. And again, anticipating a daily higher low is likely compared to where we came from, 657. But if we cannot break the top of 749, we don't change the daily trend, and the bulls prove absolutely nothing to us. We're remaining skeptical of bulls as the burden of proof is squarely on their shoulders until they change these daily trends. We had some names, some of the mid caps, seeing strength at the end of Friday, in part due to ETF rebalancing. As we know, that ETF rebalancing, as we've seen in the past, back when CGC and Cron had huge Fridays the follow through isn't there. OGI had a bit of follow through today, but nothing notable. And again, we will need a daily trend change for any shift in momentum. We'll have to hold 218 and break 285 if this is our temporary top to change the daily trend and set a weekly higher low. So worth watching for. If we see a bear break of 258 tomorrow, looking for an entry with a play off of 218 support, because there's a good bit of space above 218, roughly 18% or so. Hexo, no follow through, daily inside bar again, huge volume, huge green close, but no follow through, because once that ETF rebalancing stops, retail is not there to take the baton and continue that bull momentum. We did see a bull break of resistance, but it's not a daily trend change because we hit a lower low here under 124. So if the inside bar breaks bearish, we have to hold 122 and break 152 to change the daily trend. Every single name that we just looked at needs a daily trend change because the bears still have control otherwise. VFF, double top 528 and 529, the high of the last couple days. Holding on. If the inside bar breaks bullish, we know we haven't topped out yet. 582 is key resistance. I do not consider this a daily trend change. Again, if you're coming from an 8-month downtrend, this little higher low and higher high is not going to be enough to change the daily trend, considering we just came from 582. So I'm considering it needing much more clear pivots than that. Yes, that would be a nice little short-term hourly trend change that you could act on. But as far as saying that's our daily higher low and higher high, not for me. Being extra picky due to the overall sector conditions. Labs, volume and buying on Friday, no follow through today. So there's our inside bar. Daily trend change will be needed for the bulls to prove anything. VLNS did have a bit of follow through. It did break the high of the last. We actually had a bit of a triple top that broke, not a ton of follow through. Hourly uptrend still intact. We'll see if the bulls can keep that alive into tomorrow. And probably one of the more notable bull days aside from ACB, just by breaking all those resistances. So that does stand out. USMJ, IIPR, in the MJ sector, both Canadian and US, is standing out as a shining star ever since we bottomed. We are up over 50% in about 2.5 months. Maybe a little more than that, 3 months. Daily uptrend continues. We were cautious of the head and shoulders here, but obviously that did not follow through in any way. The increasing bull volume ensured the break. Daily higher low is 90.76. And now we're looking at next resistance of 103.58 and then 115.82. We are looking for a monthly lower high compared to the all-time high. But as long as the daily uptrend is intact, there is no sign of that monthly lower high being set yet. TRUL, heading towards resistance. It also stood out today as a lead USMJ bull. This is our 2-day time frame, which we have been watching for a month at this point for its tightening equilibrium. All about 1494 tomorrow. If we reject and lose the hourly uptrend, it's our lower high, and we're going to look for this range to tighten into next week if we cannot break 1494 tomorrow or Thursday. Cureleaf, weak. Bulls have to hold 766 and break 862 to change the daily trend. Otherwise, the bears keep their complete control, and we close near the low of the day. At the low of the day. CL. Wrong chart. You can tell it's the wrong chart instantly because it's a daily uptrend. So CL, looks like our lower high is likely set. The bulls have to hold 668, 667, and break 749 to change the daily trend. IAN, not doing anything, just looking for a daily lower high to be set. Could be a daily bear flag at this point. C-Web's on the verge of all-time lows. 827, zero sign of the bulls anywhere. GTII, if we top out and see further pullback, we have to hold 1072 and break 1219 to change the daily trend. And Harv, potential daily bear flag, no real bounce follow through. So big picture, some names, TRUL and IIPR, looking okay. Everybody else, not looking great. Daily trend changes needed sector-wide. if we continue to see Democratic nominees gain in the polls, we're going to be looking to Super Tuesday. I believe that's maybe the first Tuesday in March. Have to double check that date. But we're going to get a lot of primary results, and then we're going to get a clear front runner. And if it's either Pete or Bernie, we're going to be looking at a notable setup for the fall. I don't expect the market to be pricing in the potential of one of those Democrats winning, even if they have good results this early. And part of the reason is right now retail is the main driving force behind this sector. And retail is not really smart enough to price something in that far in advance, in my opinion. If you have hedge funds and institutions running the show, they know the game, and they know to be pricing things in a bit earlier. So, patience. I do believe, and I've continued to say this, I just talked to a member today where they were asking me about my earlier trading career and how I got over the hump of $25,000 to become a day trader. And I was right around that level when the USMJ penny stock boom of 2014 took place. And I leveled up my account 200 to 300%. And I expect, and he said, okay, so I just need to be patient and wait for hype opportunity. And I said, well, that's pretty much my trading career, where I'm conservative with small gains. I had the MJ penny stock boom, the crypto boom, the Canadian MJ boom, and I fully anticipate that we are going to have another crypto boom sometime in the next year. And in addition to that, there will be a USMJ boom. It's just a question of when. So patiently waiting, not going to sleep on the sector. I'm repeating myself at this point, but it bears repeating because there will be big time opportunity in this sector at some point. And I personally would not mind if we were still trading on the OTC and CSE when retail FOMO kicks in, because the illiquidity of those exchanges will lead to bigger gains, in my opinion. CGC is going to need, $1 billion of trading volume for a massive bull move. These names, 100 million, will see a massive bull move. So hang in there. Someday, patience. I will have cash ready, and I will deploy that cash when we get the right signals. But if we do not get those signals, sitting tight. Have a good rest of your day. See you soon.